This may be a rather silly question, given the direction of the past couple of years, since COVID came along. But do you ever suffer psychologically? Do you feel hurt, lost, or confused inside any time? Have you been crippled by calamitous emotions over COVID? Does the thought of your death despair you to distraction? Do you run away from frantic fears for yourself or for your loved ones? Have you lost a loved one or a family member and now find your life at a halt, completely unable to move forwards because of a deep psychological suffering and feelings of inner loss and emptiness? Do you run away from repetitive patterns of thought? Do you carry guilt or inner pain over events which happened in the past, but not the way you would have liked them to? Do you fear for things to come? Are you feeling not on any solid ground with regards the direction this world is taking, and correspondingly, the direction your life appears to be taking? If the answer to any of these questions was yes, then know this: you are not alone. For many of us humans, life has been no bed of roses, and human consciousness is a peculiarly divided and conflicted place, a place we all have little understanding of. Think about that a second. We have little understanding of our very own thinking, of where every action we take in life comes from. We have reached out to the moon. Men are planning to reach for Mars today. We have searched the deepest of jungles. We have climbed the tallest mountains. We have fathomed to the bottoms of our oceans. But we have never yet taken a journey deeply into the consciousness of mankind and mapped out what we find to a vision of complete understanding. When things go wrong psychologically, when we fall down, we tend to escape. We drink. We take to drugs, both pharmaceuticals and illegal drugs. Now, drugs and alcohol may mask our inner inefficiencies, our inner pains and continual hurts, but they will never eradicate them. They will never heal them. And so mankind lives on accompanied by his friend, his psychological suffering. It is not a lack of the chemicals in an antidepressant drug which brings depression to a human mind. It is the activity of the human mind itself which is responsible for the depression. The same would be true for most anxieties, fears, stresses, and inner negatively perceived states of mind. The issue which is causing the offending patterns of feeling and thinking we label in many different ways is the mind itself. We fall into life-impacting anxieties solely because we do not understand the workings of our mind. The reason we can even get depressed lies here in our ignorance. If it truly interests someone to heal their depressions and anxieties, and not just to paint over them, not to escape with alcohol or drugs or a visit to a doctor, then that person must take up a journey of discovery into the very nature of what they are psychologically. Without understanding the inner automatic working principles of our human consciousness, we are never on any solid ground in life, anywhere. Understanding what we are may bring a great freedom to our lives and see us living life in a completely different way. Understanding what we are may bring deep purpose and meaning to our lives. We have never questioned what we are psychologically. We are forced to listen incessantly to our inner non-stop chatterings of thoughts and images, but we never question what keeps this entire machinery in play. And our thinking does bring routine problems to our lives, such as depressions and fears and anxieties and worries. And yet still, we never question. We move out into the universe of space in every direction, but we never view quietly the inner movements of what we are. Understanding what we are psychologically may reveal more to us about our universe than even traveling into deep space. Why? Because the universe is what we grew out of. Humanity is life. All life is universal. The energy which flows the blood around your body is the same energy which fuels the stars into space. The energy which beats your heart is the same energy which gave birth to all life. All life is one. But we meet our universe with our mind of words and images. In doing so, we translate our universe into our past experiences. When we call a cat, or when we call anything, anything, we are recognizing something. In doing so, we are relating the world in front of our eyes to what we have understood of it and been educated to in our pasts. A mind of language lives in a conceptual world secreted from its past recordings. We do not view life freely. Rather, we view it through a comparative categorization and classification based on what we have previously experienced. We view our lives through memories of them. We were educated to this pattern of living. And we were educated also to view our minds as though we were eternally separate from them. Apparently, we are a thinker. The mind is thought. In this conceptually educated division lies our most absolute of human psychological desperations. This is an untrue point of view. One we have all accepted to our great detriment. You likely think yourself to be a thinker of thoughts. I can say several things which can quickly expose this lie. First of all, stop thinking. You can't do this. Why? Because thinking is automatic and does not come from any thinker. Its automatic movement is taking place in the brain cells. This is an educated, conditioned movement within memory. An educated movement. Thinking is so automatic, you have likely wakened during the night to be listening to the same inner chatter. The brain engages in this behavior 24 hours a day. Our brains, therefore, never rest. And of course, we have dreams and nightmares, further evidence of the brain's incessantly repetitive movement, day and night. There is one final test if you remain unconvinced that thinking is nothing other than a movement within memory. Try now to think of the face of a man or woman who is alive today but who you have never met before, nor seen any image of. Of course, it goes without saying you cannot do this, but meet that person for even a few seconds, and a photographically perfect image of that person will be stored in your thinking memory and available for your recall at your pleasure. Thinking is automatic movement within memory. If you've followed this short film to now, you have perhaps learned something new about yourself. That thinking is memory, that thinking is automatic, and that, in opposition to the wildly accepted conclusion that thinking is created by a thinker, that the thinker truly is nothing other than these actual movements of thought. You are already learning about yourself by watching and considering yourself. It is in such area of self-led pursuit, using your own eyes, ears, and questioning, which can lead you to the understanding of what you are psychologically. It is only the understanding of what you are psychologically that has any potential to remove any possibility of depression, anxiety, worry, fear, or conflict from a human mind. Why? Because depression, anxiety, worry, fear, and conflict are all factors which are only ever to be found in a human mind which does not understand itself.